I will call the meeting to order at, I guess, 5:16 p.m. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, thank you for joining us. Mr. Zerlo, would you please conduct a roll call?
Mr. Castine. Mr. Conroy. Here. Mr. Paul. Here. Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. McGill. Here. Mr. Courier. Here. Mr. Potiker. Here. Mr. Rosenquist. Here. And Mr. Timmons and Ms. Waldron have asked to be excused this evening.
Thank you. All legislators have received a copy of the stenographer's minutes of the September 23rd, 2020 regular session. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. I have a motion by Legislator Rosenquist, that's right, Chris, and a second by Legislator Castine. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I will recognize anybody in the audience now that wishes to share their thoughts with the legislature. Please raise your hands if you wish to be recognized. State your name and address for the record. And in accordance with the rules of order, all speakers will be limited to 5 minutes. Is there anybody that wishes to speak to the legislature at this time? Okay. What do you want to do? Greg? Is he good to it? Nothing? Not sure? Okay. I just had him down here. I don't know if he's going to speak or not. Committee reports. We'll go to committee reports. Each legislator chairs one of the 10 standing committees, and I will call on the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee, starting with Buildings and Grounds. Legislator Perry.
The Building and Grounds Committee meeting scheduled for Thursday, October 8th was canceled. The next Building and Grounds Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 9th at 4:30. End of report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Children and Family Services, Legislator Potiker.
Thank you, Chairman Henry. The Children and Family Services Committee met Tuesday, October 6th. Resolutions number 569 through 572 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee recommendations. Don Redden, the Commissioner of Social Services, reported that he submitted his budget with an anticipation of a 20% cut due to the reduction of state aid. He also stated that as positions become vacant, he is not looking to fill some of them. And in his budget for 2021, he is down 11% staffing. Mr. Redden reported that with the COVID-19 pandemic, the caseloads have not increased tremendously, but there have been an increase in reported preventative services and child protective services. The next meeting tentatively scheduled for Thursday, November 5th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Economic Development, County Legislator Rosenquist.
Chairman Henry, the Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting was scheduled for Tuesday, October 13th. That meeting was canceled. The committee was polled on resolution 573 through 576, which has been placed on tonight's agenda. The next Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Thursday, November 12th at 5 p.m. and report.
Thank you. Finance, Legislator Timmons, you have?
Yes, I do. So on behalf of Legislator Timmons, the Finance Committee meeting scheduled for Wednesday, October 7th was canceled. The committee was polled on resolution 577, which is on today's agenda. The county treasurer received a reconciliation sales tax payment for the third quarter of this year. Although receipts are down approximately $1 million from 2019 year to date, it was positive news, and we continue to exceed budgeted amounts for 2020. The next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, November 4th at 6:15 p.m. at the report.
Thank you. And again, Mr. Zerlo, Health.
Yes, on behalf of Legislator Waldron, the Health Committee met Tuesday, October 6th. Resolutions 578 through 584 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. With us this evening is John Canosa, Director of Public Health, And I know he spoke to the committee, but John, if you want to speak to the full board, that'd be appreciated.
Thank you very much, Mike, appreciate it. I'll give you a case update, what we have so far with regard to our numbers. We've added one additional new laboratory confirmed positive case as of last night or early this morning. So we're up to a grand total to date of 182 total positive lab confirmed cases. 166 of those have recovered. Quite a few recoveries occurred just this week. At this point, we're sitting at 12 active cases in isolation right now. Now, you may recall my last meeting here. Since that time, we had, as of last Monday, it was reported that over the weekend, last Monday, from Sunday 10/3/2020, we had 7 new cases occur on that day. That's not the biggest one-day spike we've had. It's pretty close to it. So. Just a variety of different reasons. Off-campus housing for SUNY students as well occurred in that. So we've been pretty busy. That added to our case count, and we were up to 18 by the end of last week, active cases. So that has been reduced since that time. So it's keeping us really busy, as you can understand. Fortunately, in Clinton County, we have 41,372 tests have been completed. That's quite a good number and a track record moving forward for our county to have been tested already. Our INQ staff continue to work feverishly, pretty much daily into the evening, some days, just tracking, contact tracing the individuals who are known positives and their contacts that they've had. And that takes quite a bit for each of the cases. So SUNY Plattsburgh is doing really well as far as their on-campus testing, as well as what is being done at the Clinton County office, I should say the big warehouse building at 213 Connecticut. CVPH is running that testing clinic up there 7 days a week, pretty much 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it's continuing moving forward. They may look at scaling back, depending on the numbers that they see on the weekends. Specifically, Sunday seems to be the lowest day, but they're going to continue
You
to
can go
forward.
there with an order or without an order.
You can go both. You can go there, just right now, we can just get up and go there if we want, or if you have a doctor's order, you can take that with you there. And as I understand, the hospital will bill the insurance with that doctor's order. That's how that comes together.
Right, absent a physician's order,
You can still.
it is a free service.
It is a free service.
The state of New York,
State of New York through CVPH.
Through CVPH has set up that clinic with our assistance.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
John, if somebody goes there and no symptoms, just curious, and they're found to be positive, what's the next thing that happens to them?
That day, they will be reported in the system as a positive, and then starts the work of our INQ staff, isolation and quarantine staff, to contact trace who they've been with. First, start with your family. Start small, work big in that direction. Have you been out a lot? No. Like me, I don't go out that much, but who you work with, who are your contacts at work, so we work it out like that. That's what would happen right there. So the ladies just take off like a shot, working on contacts that you've been near, close to, versus secondary ones, contact of a contact. Your wife and her mother. Has your wife, during the time that she's been with you, okay, and you may have been positive, has she seen her mother? No? Oh, we're happy to hear that. That rules out that category. So that's generally the direction of how it goes.
Now, in the experiences, that produced more people found positive?
In some cases, yes. I think the thing that's produced the most now is testing is at record highs in Clinton County compared to the STAR. The CVPH site at the county building at 213 Connecticut, they're doing about 120, 150 a day during the week. The hospital is also doing tests for anybody that has to come in for any type of procedure to make sure they're tested 3 days before their procedure. So yeah, there's a lot of testing. Providers are providing testing now, so we're hitting great numbers right now, and I think we're on the order of a few days we've had in the last week, 500 tests per day. We're well above that 100, 120 goal that we've had since this all started. So we're doing great. The testing is good. It's fine. In other news, we're working really closely with the schools now because the governor last week, Friday, probably about 4:30, I think it happened, An email was sent out, State of New York is offering free test kits to assist with schools and the testing of schools. They're seeing hotspots now in downstate and western part of New York State, Cattaraugus, Chautauqua, and Erie counties, pretty hot right now out there. So they're really focusing on those red or orange areas where they've got a lot of positive cases, trying to identify kids in school that may be positive or not, and or if they are, and they have a lot of them, what are they obviously going to do? They're going to close schools. So we're looking at that. In all honesty, we're Clinton County, the northern region. All our counties in the northern region are doing quite well with not having as many positive cases as other counties and regions of the state, and accordingly, we'll probably have to wait our turn on that. But
So what John's referring to is there was a big push from all local governments through the control rooms, and is a dissemination of some rapid testing.
correct.
You recall that the federal government released rapid testing to state governments. New York State is now rolling those out, and John's team is going to be filing a plan with New York State Department of Health, advocating our position as to why rapid testing should be rolled out in Clinton County.
With the schools, we're going to be working with the schools with a plan of action for the schools. So we will try to find a way to do that one way, shape, or another through either with the schools or by alternative means through the healthcare providers that we have in our area. So, environmental health and safety, our division is currently working on addressing any complaints as they have been all along. And they're also continuing to work with facilities out there that are planning to open newer facilities or reopen facilities that were open before. So I know he's Ryan Davies, Director of Environmental Health and Safety, is working very closely with the YMCA at other possible building locations that they're looking at to potentially work on in terms of reopening. Other than that, public outreach, thanks to Mr. Henry and Sheriff Favreau, we're going to Wiry tomorrow to have a 20-minute, 30-minute interview with Wiry on some of the aspects that we work on as a health department, and also as we've been working in the incident command system with all of our partners, including Mark, the legislature, emergency services, the sheriff's department, CVPH, SUNY Plattsburgh especially, and how the hard work that we've been doing. So that'll be our goal anyway, so to get that out to the media. So any questions?
Yep, on the contact testing, obviously you want to know if I've got it, who I might spread it to, but are you able to backtrack and find out where the people you're testing got it from?
Yes, we can work that. That is the goal, is to work backwards in time to find out who you were closest to, primary and secondary contacts, and from then on, through the first 48 hours and then backwards in time up to 4 days. That's typically the way we do it, so.
So is there any kind of a trend that you can release to the public that says, here's what you gotta look out for?
I'll tell you the one thing I've learned working with my nurses, every case is case specific. Every case is different. They're all different. There's nothing that's really, you can put a handle on. I can tell you that in a lot of the cases that we've had, where we've had a group of 2, 3, 4, 5 positives, the gathering that occurred that we are vehemently against, if you're gonna sit down and have a drink with a buddy of yours or a couple of buddies, make it a couple of buddies, spread out, social distance, wear a mask when you can, do what you can to try to minimize your potential for obtaining this infection. That's the biggest thing. So social gatherings that have been the cause of the majority of our spikes that occur. So that I can tell you.
Anything else, John?
I think that's it. I think I covered it.
Mr. Sherwood? Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good seeing you again.
Thank you, John. Human Services, Legislator Conroy?
Yes, the Human Services Committee met Wednesday, October 7th. Resolutions 585 through 587 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. Wendy Bishop, the nursing home administrator, provided an update on COVID-19 testing for Clinton County nursing home employees. They continue to be required to test once a week. Ms. Bishop also provided an update on visitation. In order to comply with New York State guidelines, including staffing requirements, the nursing home is not currently open to visitation. Ms. Bishop has numerous She had numerous discussions with families and is hoping to find a solution for visitation. The next Human Services Committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, November 4th at 5:15.
Thank you, sir. Personnel? The Personnel Committee met Monday, October 5th. Resolutions number 588 through 609 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. The next Personnel Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 2nd at 4 p.m. Resolution 632 under Waive Rule 13.2 has been added to the resolution agenda for tonight. And that is in personnel. Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislator Hall.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Plattsburgh International Airport Committee was pulled on resolutions 610 through 612, which are on the agenda this afternoon. The next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, October 28th at 4 p.m. Also, I can give you a good report. Beta, our electric airline company that's had half of the, one of the buildings at the airport, just decided they're gonna grow and they are taking the whole building. And also Stratton, who's here, the company that's gonna take apart airplanes, has notified us that they plan on signing a lease at the end of the month. So it's all good news for our airport.
That is good news.
End of the report. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you very
Chairman.
much, sir. Public Safety, Legislator Castine.
Yes, sir, the Public Safety Committee met Monday, October 5th. Resolutions number 613 through 615 are placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 2nd at 5 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Transportation, Legislator McGill.
Transportation Committee meeting scheduled for Thursday, October 8th was canceled. Resolutions number 616 and through 618 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committees being pulled. The next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 9th at 5:15. End of report.
Thank you very much, sir. Liaison reports, Board of Health, you just heard from Director Canoza. The next Board of Health meeting is scheduled for October 19th at 7 p.m. Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Rosenquist, no report. Clean Community College.
Yes, so last regular session, we had the public meeting on the college's budget. This evening, we do have the resolution on the docket to pass this budget. And I would like to point out that what's going on? Sorry? I erred. I missed it last time. Oh, no, that's all right. You're forgiven.
Refused to adjourn.
So tonight is the vote on the college's budget. And I would like to just acknowledge this legislature to hold true, who is holding true to our promise to the college to provide them a third of their funding, just like as we expect everybody else to hold up their end of that bargain as well. So thank you to this legislature and thank you to Ray. I hope I'm not prematurely thanking everybody. So I would appreciate your support in this legislation. Thanks.
All right, thank you, sir. Community Service Board, Legislator Conroy, no report. Cooperative Extension, Robin's not here. Discipline Review, no report. Grievance, no report. Intercounty, Patty didn't have anything, right? LCLG also nothing. Soil Water, Legislator Perry?
Not really any report, but we were supposed to store some equipment in one of the buildings at the farm burn. So I haven't been notified of what happened. I believe our meeting tomorrow night, so hopefully it's really good.
Yes.
Legislator Rosenquist, Workforce Development.
Yeah, so this last week, we caught into some funding concerns again for the opioid displaced worker program, which was originally supposed to be funded through the end of December. That money had not come through, and it's scheduled to pretty much unfund that program on the 24th. So Mike and I have both reached out to Lee Stefanik's office as well as our contacts at the New York State Department of Labor to figure out where this funding is getting tied up.
They don't know yet. I haven't heard back, but I've been, you know, pushing to get this funding, the last 2 months of the funding, you know, acquired.
Yeah, it's my understanding, Chris, is that, this is not like the, you know, it's not the state of New York holding up
Yes,
federal
I
dollars.
understand,
It's for
yeah.
some reason the federal government is not releasing this.
Right, exactly, which is how Elise's office got involved, so, you know, we'll see how this resolves, and, you know, certainly would appreciate Elise's office, you know, coming through for us as she normally does.
Well, good news, I mean, eventually we'll get it, so
Yeah.
that'll be a good thing. Staff reports. Ms. Miller,
I would like a very brief executive session to update on some of the opioid litigation matters.
Okay.
No other report.
yes, ma'am. Mr. Zerlo.
Two things I'd like to bring to your attention this evening. You know, Kim and I continue to work through budgets, and although we don't have a clear picture on the end result, the submissions to date have been promising. But that leads to a timetable to present a budget to you folks and to set public hearings and regular sessions. So that is, and we have holidays involved in there, which is throwing a monkey wrench into things. So hopefully I have a suggestion for you this evening that fits your schedule. The plan at this point is to provide tentative budgets to the legislature on the 24th of November, and to allow people to enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday, not meet on that budget until Monday, November 30th. So Monday, November 30th.
What time?
That would be 5:15. And I'm speaking to our two candidates who are in the audience too, because you will take, assuming that all the absentees and stuff and the election is certified, one of our candidates will be sworn in by then and participate in those discussions. So that's the 30th at 5:15. And with another meeting on Tuesday the 1st at 5:15. Hopefully that is enough time to review the budget with you folks.
Sorry, Mike, you said Monday?
Monday the 30th,
Yep.
Tuesday the 1st. With the, now, you will note that normally we have a regular session on the 9th, Wednesday the 9th. I am hoping to have, in lieu of the regular session, have the public hearing on the budget on the 9th at 5:15 p.m. With a regular session, the first regular session of the month, we have to move to the 16th to allow for that to happen.
There are two meetings on the 1st, the health meeting, the health.
That is correct. This one would, we monitor those agendas, and this one would take precedence. Yeah.
Okay. Should we just move them like sooner than later then, or?
We can.
I'm not asking it, I'm
No,
not asking.
depending on the agendas, they might be canceled, so that's why I held off. So, if everybody's okay with that, we'll put a resolution on the next meeting, moving, that regular session that was to happen on the 9th to the 16th of December. And that's the night we will formally adopt the 2021 budget.
We never have the hearing and then have the regular session.
Correct. On the budget, we wait an additional week, just like we do with the community college. I'm glad everybody got it. So yes, we do in fact wait a week before you act on the budget post of the public hearing. Secondly, a little bit of good news, we do not have the checks in any sort of bank account yet. But we did receive an email today from the Department of State, New York State Department of State, indicating that the 2018 shared services plan that we submitted has been approved, which is good news for several of those municipalities. I'm just letting you know that we are on a path to funding. We do not have the check yet, but You recall the two big items in that original plan. Three big items was a plowing contract with the town of Black Brook, assessing services with the city of Plattsburgh, and the Clinton County Sheriff's Department absorbing the village of Rouse's Point's police department. So, and then there was several smaller items. So hopefully, Kim's working on the submission to send back, to disseminate all the money, but this is positive news.
All right. Anything else, sir?
No, sir.
Any further discussion, questions for Mr. Zerlo at this time? All right. Before voting on the resolutions, I want to note that the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based in large part on the recommendation of those committees. Mr. Zerlo, would you please read the title of the resolutions to be acted upon?
Certainly. Resolution 568, adopting Clinton Community College budget, Clinton Community College.
Motion, Mr. Henry, second, Mr. Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried. Resolution 569, authorizing memorandum of understanding with the Clinton County Mental Health and Addiction Services, Social Service, Employment and Training.
Motion, Mr. Boddicker, second, Mr. Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes. Carried.
Resolution 570, authorizing memorandum of understanding with Champlain Valley Family Center, Social Services, Employment and Training.
Motion, Mr. Boddicker, second, Mr. McGill. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes. Carried.
Resolution 571, authorizing contract with Franklin, Essex, Hamilton, Boards of Cooperative Educational Services, Social Services, Employment and Training.
Motion, Mr. Boddicker, second, Mr. Rosenquist. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes. Carried.
Resolution 572, authorizing contract with Adirondack Community Action Programs Incorporated, Social Services.
Motion, legislator Boddicker, second, legislator Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 573, authorizing the Center for Tech and Civic Life Grant Acceptance, Board of Elections.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 574, authorizing contract with Extreme Clean, Board of Elections.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes. Carried.
Resolution 575, authorizing contract with the City of Plattsburgh, Information Technology.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist, second, legislator Boddicker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes. Carried.
Resolution 576, authorizing various contracts of the year 2021, Information Technology.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 577, amending resolution number 177 dated March 14, 2018, titled Authorizing Contract with Pitney Bowes Global Financial Services, Purchasing.
Motion, legislator Henry, second, legislator McGill. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 578, approving appointment to the Mental Health Subcommittee, Mental Health and Addiction.
Motion, legislator Conroy, second, legislator McGill. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 579, approving appointments to the Community Services Board, Mental Health and Addiction.
Motion, legislator Conroy, second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 580, authorizing Women, Infants, and Children Grant Application and Acceptance, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Conroy, second, legislator McGill. Discussion? Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 581, authorizing contract amendment with various motels, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 582, authorizing contract amendment with Quality Inn and Suites Health Department.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator McGill. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 583, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm assuming that all of these updates are included in this department's budget for
That
this
is,
year?
that is correct.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
And if they're not, they'll be amended accordingly. If I recommend something to you that defunds some of this, a new resolution will be brought before the board to reduce that, amending that resolution.
Thank you, thank you.
But if we don't get them started, it'll be July.
Yep.
Resolution 584, authorizing various ongoing contracts for the year 2021 Health Department.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist. Second, legislator McGill. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 585, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021 nursing home.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 586, authorizing increase in room and board rates for the skilled nursing facility residents nursing home.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator McGill. Discussion.
Yeah, we have this resolution come up every year, just a reminder to everybody, this is the private pay side of the house in the nursing home. And Ms. Bishop reported to her standing committee that these rates remain well under the other facilities in the region. So it's a fairly, it's pretty much a cost of living adjustment to the private pay code.
Any further? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 587, authorizing contract with Enzo Light Services Nursing Home.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion.
Everybody recalls that per New York State Executive Order, the nursing home is required to test its employees once a week. This is an additional lab name given to us by New York State for Quincy County to contract with because the current lab, I believe, LabCorp, has indicated that they can't handle the book of business any longer, so we're seamlessly transitioning to another lab.
Any further? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 588, approving backfill of permanent full-time water equipment operator 1, highway.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 589, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator 1, highway.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 590, approving backfill of permanent full-time highway construction supervisor position, highway.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 591, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator 3, highway.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion.
Yes, where did all these backfills, where are the people that had the jobs, where'd they go?
Kim?
Some of them are retirements, but the next couple, the supervisor retired, so it's kind of the daisy chain of all the positions being promoted up.
So the supervisor gets up, the 3, the 2 goes to 3, and 1 becomes a,
Yeah.
yeah. But some of these, I believe, in highway were actual retirement. It created the change.
Any further discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 592, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator 2, highway.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 593, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator 1, highway.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist. Second, legislator Henry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 594, approving backfill of permanent full-time clerk, social services.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 595, approving backfill of permanent full-time planning technician, planning department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 596, approving backfill of permanent full-time account clerk typist, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 597, approving the backfill of permanent part-time account clerk typist position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 598, approving backfill of full-time licensed practical nurse, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist. Second, legislator Henry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 599, approving the backfill of permanent full-time nurses aide position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 600, approving the backfill of permanent part-time patient agent position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 601, approving backfill of permanent full-time central services clerk position, central services.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 602, approving backfill of permanent full-time senior account clerk typist, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Second, legislator Henry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 603, approving extension of temporary part-time senior tax clerk typist position, treasurer's office.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 604, approving backfill of permanent full-time public health nurse position, health department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 605, approving the backfill of a permanent part-time motor vehicle license clerk, county clerk.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 606, approving backfill of permanent full-time registered professional nurse, sheriff's department.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist. Second, legislator Henry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 607, approving the extension of temporary full-time election specialist position, Board of Elections.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion.
Yes. I was down there today for about half an hour. Had them show me everything I had to do, well, most everything that they had to do with the ballot, like absentee ballots come in, a request for absentee ballots, the people coming in and out the door and the phone ringing off the hook. I'm just, the format and the procedures that they have to do is mind-boggling. I don't know how they do it, so it's a very good idea that we give them extra help. You really need it.
Okay. Excellent, thank you. Thank you. Any other discussion, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 608, approving the increase in hours for 2 temporary part-time election specialist positions at Board of Elections.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 609, approving creation of 2 temporary part-time election specialist positions, Board of Elections.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 610, authorizing contract with Cummins Incorporated, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried. Resolution 611, authorizing user fee facility program memorandum of agreement, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 612, authorizing out-of-state travel, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Henry. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 613, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 614, amending resolution number 911 dated November 13, 2009, titled authorizing contract with Seawork Equipment LLC, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator McGill. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried. Resolution 615, authorizing contract amendment with Simquest Group Incorporated, Public Defender.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 616, amending resolution number 143 dated February 12, 2020, titled authorizing multi-year contract with Champlain Valley Advertising Agency, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator McGill. Second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 617, authorizing various memoranda of understanding for the year 2021, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator McGill. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 618, authorizing contract with Upstone Materials Incorporated Highway.
Motion, legislator McGill. Second, legislator Henry. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 619, authorizing the county treasurer to establish a capital project titled Acquire Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Vehicle and Personal Protective Equipment, PPE, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 620, authorizing the county treasurer to establish a capital project titled Rehabilitation of Runway 1735 Pavement Phase 2 Construction, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 621, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the New York State Office of Children and Family Services Grant, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 622, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Child Advocacy Center Mobile Grant, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried. Resolution number 623, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Victims of Crime Act and Victim and Witnesses Assistance Grant, District Attorney's Office, Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried. Resolution 624, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the FM Global Fire Prevention Grant Emergency Services.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Resolution 625, authorizing the county treasurer to adjust appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Workforce Investment Act Grant Employment and Training Social Services.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried. Resolution 626, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Children and Youth with Special Health Care Needs Grant Health Department.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator McGill. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried. Resolution 627, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Women, Infants, and Children Program Grant Health Department.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carries. Resolution 628, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the COVID-19 ELC Response Grant Health Department.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carries. Resolution 629, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation from the Highway County Road Reserve and corresponding revenue for the True Brook Road Bridge Project, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator McGill. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried. Resolution 630, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation for the Highway County Road Reserve and corresponding revenue for the Standish Road Bridge Project, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator McGill. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried. Resolution 631, authorizing the county treasurer to decrease appropriation and corresponding revenue for the 2017 Operation Stone Garden Grant Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried.
I have a waive rule 13.2. I have a motion by legislator Hall, second by legislator McGill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 632, approving creation of 2 temporary part-time election specialist positions, Board of Elections.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist, second, legislator Hall. Discussion.
I just want to point out, this resolution, as, in addition to the previous resolutions dealing with the Board of Elections, are fully paid for, either by an original CARES Act grant, the remainder of the original CARES Act grant, or the CTCL grant that you accepted this evening. So still no cost to the county taxpayer.
Any questions, further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 633, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Center for Tech and Civic Life Grant Board of Elections.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Carried.
Let's see the resolution.
Thank God.
Right. Control. It's control. Where are we here? Okay, if we don't have anything further to come, I'd like to Entertain a motion to enter into executive session. I have a motion by legislator Rosenquist, second by legislator Miguel.
And for the purpose of
Thank you.
receiving an update from council on current litigation.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are, hey, how are you? Down here in executive
I
session.
think we met, my name is Chris. Bill.
All set, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a motion by legislator Rosenquist, a second by legislator McGill. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Motion to adjourn.
One moment, sorry.
What happened?
Sorry. I just had one quick update on the previous conversation about the opioid displaced worker. I just heard back from my New York State person, and they said it's not, certainly not, as we can assume, it's not caught up at the New York State level. It is at the Department, or the US Department of Labor, and we'll continue to try to work that out.
We got a path.
Pardon?
We have a path.
We do have a path. We at least know where the money is, how about that? So,
Well, even I feel guilty about blaming the state when it's not their fault.
well, we just assumed that that's where it was. That's where it's been, so. Thank you. Sorry, Bobby.
No problem.
We have a motion to adjourn. Have a second by legislator Rosenquist. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.